Picture this: the smell of propane and charred meat, kids screeching like wounded animals, some dad in cargo shorts, flipping burger patties like it's a sacred art. You're here because your neighbor cornered you about stopping by last week, and now you're holding a plastic cup of something that tastes like a melted red crayon and broken promises. You see, you're out, a gap between the grill and a group of middle-aged suburbanites discussing home insurance like it's foreplay. You make a break for it. Something latches onto your pant leg. You look down. A kid. Some genetic accident between two of these strangers. Sticky red-stained lips. Eyes like two black voids, full of mischief and Kool-Aid. What? You ask. Silence. Just the wet gleam of his dumb little teeth. You try again. What do you want? Then, out of nowhere, this kid, this miniature agent of chaos, drops the question like a lead weight. What's the best way not to die? You blink. Your brain revs up, already chewing through mortality rates, lifestyle choices, existential loopholes. But the kid, he's already won. He's got you, hooked, thinking. Then, just as your neurons start screaming about how ridiculous this is, he delivers the punchline. To not be born, and he's gone, sprinting off to infect the next unsuspecting adult with his playground nihilism. You stand there, cup in hand, a sour taste in your mouth that has nothing to do with the punch. See, what just happened is bigger than one sticky-faced kid parroting nonsense. There's a whole movement of people like him, grown-ups who never grew up. People who looked at life, decided it sucked, and instead of dealing with it, landed on the ultimate cop-out, anti-natalism. The philosophy? Life is suffering, and if suffering is bad, the only way to avoid it is to never exist in the first place. You have to admire the laziness. Some philosophy professor, named David Benatar, wrote a whole book about it, Better Never to Have Been, The Harm of Coming into Existence. The title alone tells you everything you need to know. His big idea? Birth is basically a war crime. That governments only push people to reproduce, so they can have more bodies for wars and labor. That life itself is a trap, a cruel joke, a mistake. And the best way not to suffer? Simple. Never be born. Rather than realizing the significance behind our pain and suffering, that without it we wouldn't grow as humans, they believe that if we can't do away with pain, then it would be more logical to just not be born in the first place. Now, let's talk about narcissism, shall we? It's this self-centered attitude that drives some people to think that their own potential suffering justifies denying life to others. They focus so much on avoiding their own pain that they forget about the joys and growth that life can bring. But here's the part they don't want to talk about. You ask one of these antinatalist types why they don't just end it all now. If they truly believe life is suffering, why keep waking up? Why not take the next logical step? And that's when the narcissism kicks in. Because see, it's not about them. It's about you. They're not volunteering to check out. No. They just don't think you should be born. Your kids, your future. This is why Canada, land of universal healthcare and maple syrup, now legally assists the mentally ill with suicide. You're depressed? The state will help you clock out. Society will hold the door for you, pat you on the back on your way out. Are they really listening and giving into the desires of the mentally ill? How would they know what they want? They're not right mentally. But let's be real. Give these antinatalists a loaded gun and a get-out-of-life-free card, and most of them will backpedal. Because they don't want to die. They just want to be miserable. They want you to be miserable. So, they're not philosophers. They're toddlers. Toddlers who never stop throwing tantrums. So the next time some Kool-Aid-stained prophet of doom grabs your leg at a barbecue and tells you life isn't worth living, just remember, he's not looking for an answer. He just wants you to suffer with him.